Hi guys, welcome back to the Tiny Magical Cafe. I've gotten a few messages in the past couple of hours. I do take a day or two to recover. Obviously, the first reading we did on loved ones that have passed, two came through. It was quite a short one. I'm used to sitting with people one-on-one, so it's a lot stronger when I have you in front of me and we talk and I can channel directly through the person I sit with. So whoever I bring up in this reading, if it doesn't resonate with you and it's not your loved one that's passed, keep watching, because I've sent out messages to the universe that I am someone who can now pass on messages, even if it's people I can't reach from all over the world and you can't be present to sit here with me. Maybe it's one way of getting through to you. Hey, another country, another province, another language. And here we go again with our crystal. Put my hand in there so you can see it doesn't warble too much. Okay, let's do our protection prayer. Because we're asking the universe, we're asking God, our angels, and everyone around us to keep us safe and protected. We're not delving. We don't want to open the veil to the dark side. We want to speak to our loved ones in heaven. We just want messages to say that they're safe. But more than that, we know deep down they're safe and they're happy. We just feel left behind. We just want some sort of recognition. Just a feeling for a few seconds or a message that they're still with us. Just a reminder that for as long as they've gone, they still pop in now and again. I can often see a little glow around people. I let them know there's a loved one. Sorry, I just jerked there, the tap just dribbled. Oh. It does feel a bit uneasy because I am opening, so obviously odd little things happening around me every time I do this. Now earlier, before I even set up to start, you can stop now. If you don't mind, just stop here for a few minutes. Please let us know if it's a yes or no. But I got a Maggie, a Margaret, or a Megan. I know it sounds so general, but there's no other way I can sort of decipher the messages coming through. I just get letters and names popping in. It's a father, but it's a father role. It's more like a grandfather who treated you more like a fatherly influence. I don't know how to explain it. Your grandfather is more like a dad to you than your actual dad. And for some reason I'm getting a John. I know the name sounds so general, but this is what pops in, and this is what I have to say out loud because I get bugged if I don't. Okay, M, wherever you are, still feels like Magpie Maggie. He's a little bit worried about you. He does pop in, he does visit. You're feeling very down at the moment. Things are just feeling really tough. You're feeling quite teary, you're feeling quite overwhelmed. And he's coming through to say, it's going to get better. And it sounds so cliched. I know for us living in our human bodies, our souls, just having to finish our time here on earth. But he can see where you're going to go to. He can see your life unfolding. I wish we could, but we just have to live through the lessons. He's trying to tell you I can't tell, it sounds like a flower, but it's not an actual petal flower. It's not a plant, it's not a fern, it's, yes, okay, it's a sort of pot plant that does flower, not often. He says you'll know what it means. It's obviously a conversation you guys had together while you were still here. He's trying to prove that this message is from him by saying that to you. Maggie, magpie. Help is on the way, babe. He's sending it for you. Hang in there, okay? Hang in there. He's coming and you're going to feel better. You're going to feel him. He's with you now. He's left me and the message. He's sitting with you now. And his knees are much better. I'm just going to chat in between until the messages keep coming through. I know it's really frustrating. I've lost loved ones too, and I beg for signs. And in the early days, I couldn't tell what a sign was. And I was hoping the moth that visited or the feather that landed. And I can promise you it probably is. I know some people recognize a sign through a little soft feather to say, it's an angel wing, to say, I'm thinking of you. Sometimes it's even an odd color that only you could recognize. I think when you're more open to it and you're more sort of sensitive to it, you'll pick it up more. But the main thing you have to do is not doubt. Not question a sign, not say, yeah, maybe, you know, I've heard this, I've heard that. I think if you're watching this video, you need to understand that if something's coming through and you feel it strongly and it feels like love and it feels like something's here to say, I'm here, you have to believe it. Take a deep breath, and it's very hard sometimes to get through the veil for that side as much as this side. And sometimes just a sweet push and a tiny sign, a little object can be enough. Have faith, okay? The odd giggle is just me opening up my energy. I always get the giggles. It's very tough when I'm doing a very powerful reading with someone who's very sad, and I sit there and I haven't not giggled and I need to justify and explain. Something that came through strongly yesterday, it's a movie my younger sister adores. Oh, my throat. Who's coming through? My throat's feeling a bit tight. City of Angels, that movie from years ago, Nicolas Cage. That song, Arms of an Angel. In the arms of an angel. That's coming through. Oh, don't joke. Who is this? This is a best friend. This is the best friend one of you watched this movie with often. And it made you sad, but you loved the idea of being loved that deeply. That's what you two used to talk about, finding a love that strong, but without the partner dying. This is your best friend. She passed young, hey? I'm getting the shakes and a very sore throat. She died somehow through something that took her that way. She couldn't breathe. Almost like a seizure. She was choking. You weren't there with her, but you wished you were. And she's saying she's glad you weren't. She didn't want you to see her like that. And obviously she's really happy and secure and she doesn't get sick anymore. But she's asking you not to feel guilty. You'll always be her best friend. I'm just going to let this one leave me a little bit because she didn't die violently, but sometimes you can feel the way a person died. The other thing I need to tell you, as much as it scares us sometimes when there's a dark shadow in the room or you feel like there's a presence standing in a corner and things, that movie The Sixth Sense, brilliant movie, Bruce Willis and that little boy. The only thing I had a question about was, I want you guys to remember, if a loved one does happen to appear, or someone you don't know, they cannot appear in death form the way they died, because those split seconds when they closed their eyes and died, they didn't physically see their death bodies. They would have seen themselves lying there. So if they appear to you with messages and that, they appear in their perfect form. I don't want you to ever be afraid if it is someone good that you miss, that loves you. They won't appear, as an example, if they were shot or something quite violent, they won't appear in that form with a little bit of blood and whatever the case is. They will appear seconds before the incident happened that caused the death, still in their normal looking form. One of my neighbours had a little boy visiting me every night. He was about 4. I didn't really know her yet, and I had to sort of make friends and suss whether she'd be open to listening to her message. And I asked her one night over a glass of wine if she'd lost a little boy, but very young, and she said yes, in birth. The little boy appeared as a 4-year-old because she had a little girl who was 4, and the little girl kept talking about her brother, not knowing she had even had a brother, but he appeared in that form to reassure her that he was protecting her and looking after her. So every night I'd have a cigarette on my decking outside my back door, and we had this thin little wooden wall, and I'd hear the pitter-patter of his feet. And it took me a few days to sort of decide how I was going to let her know that he was well, and he was visiting his siblings. And it doesn't take away the grief and the pain, it just eases it. Because unfortunately, as I've said before, we just learn to hide the pain better every day. But that feeling of waking up some mornings and forgetting that we'd lost that person is very strong. And it takes a few minutes to open your eyes and realize that you have another day to go on without them. So it's a very hard part of life, with the idea of not living the rest of your life, because you planned your life with that person in them, whether it was a family member, a lover, a child. You planned your life ahead with them, and it's for you now to reconsider how you're going to live a new path without them in it. That's the hardest part of losing someone. And as I said that, a little boy came through. His name's Joe. J. Oh, he giggles all the time. I can feel Joe. I can't get, he looked young for his age, so he feels like he's about, I can't clearly, he looks about 6, but he could be a year or 2 older. Disease. Okay, Joe. He's telling his mum that he knows she tried very hard to help him. But Joe wants you to know he didn't choose to live here for very long. He came to visit and stay for a few short years, but he will see you again soon. He wants you to stop feeling so sad because he pops in and giggles and tries to tickle you sometimes. But you don't like being tickled. He doesn't have more than that. He's still quite young. Giggling and tickling. Oh, hokey pokey. He said his mommy will know what that means. It's hard because I'm trying to separate messages here. And I cannot stay in this realm for too long. As I said, it's a doorway. And there are things that have passed that weren't very nice humans in their life. And they're attracted to light. They're attracted to a doorway full of light. As we sit here and do this, there's beautiful light shining around us all. Some are just lost, and some don't have very nice intentions. But I want you all to remember that you're safe. You're surrounded by guides. There's a circle of them around you holding hands. Some of them are even loved ones that have passed, that have chosen to come back and protect you like an angel. Now, they're not allowed to offer advice, as I've said before. So when you lie in bed tonight, give them permission. Wrap yourself in love and light and say to your guides, I give you permission to show me the signs of loved ones past. Remember to choose a quiet corner where you feel safe and calm. You don't have to turn off the lights. If you need all the lights in the house, that's fine. Just find a place that you feel secure and relaxed. And I want you to start talking to your loved ones. They hear you. And the stronger the connection you make to them, and the stronger you believe the connection's there, the stronger you will feel them nearby. But remember, do your research and protect yourself. I wish you all a good evening. If anything else comes through, I'll post immediately. Love and light. God bless.